Hey guys, welcome back to Talk3D. Today in episode 2, we have Frank here from freeyourtesla.com. Frank's the owner and founder of that company, and he has an incredible story about how 3D printing took him on this journey to having freeyourtesla.com and the incredible products that he's making. So, Frank, welcome.
Hey guys.
So I want to first, have you tell your story because I think it's incredible how we met just a year ago and started on this journey of 3D printing. So can you take us back to the very beginning, even before the 3D printing? How did we get started? What was the motivation for your company?
Sure. So I got really into Tesla. I think as most people that own Teslas are, they're super enthusiastic about their cars. I bought a Model 3 about a year and a half ago, and super excited about it and the company and Elon Musk, and obviously, everyone that has a Tesla is a super fan. But there's the community, the Tesla community is a great community because everybody is always trying to do something new or create something for the cars, for the community, and just like that, I in driving the car, everyone that has a Tesla just loves driving it. And you start to see things that might be cool to have. And I took one really long road trip.
How long was this road trip, by the way?
It was 4,500 miles.
Okay, so we're not talking like a road trip that normal people would do. You literally drove across the continent with this.
Yeah, oh yeah. Crisscrossed. And so in doing that road trip, I saw a really big need. There was no way to mount. I really wanted an iPad in there, but there was no iPad mounts. No matter where I looked on the market, there was no iPad mounts available that fit really nicely. And people that have Teslas, they want their everything to look like it was part of the car. And
okay, but before we get there, why do you need an iPad? Doesn't your Tesla 3 come with a giant screen already?
Yes, it does. But of course, not every app is on that screen. And so there's definitely in apps, especially if you're on such a long road trip with a passenger, they want to be able to have an iPad there. They don't want to be holding it the whole time. So I saw a really great opportunity to make a product. I saw a need. I figured if I see the need, then hopefully there's thousands of other people like me.
But you came to it from a perspective of kind of like a consumer who has a Tesla 3 who could use this product. What makes you think that you could just make it on your own? Because you're not a manufacturer. You weren't a manufacturer anyway prior to this.
Yeah, that's true. I took a chance. But that's when I thought, okay, I contacted Shop3D. I got an Ultimaker, and I started learning how to use it and how to prototype stuff. I mean, I knew a little bit about how to 3D print, and I knew design, so that part wasn't too difficult. But I took the time to really prototype, iterate the product, make it better and better and better, and make it perfect. And I just took several months to prototype it. I sent it to some people for testing, and eventually, after many months, I got to the product that I have now, which was great. It let me prototype rapidly, multiple iterations as quickly as possible.
I think you're downplaying this a little bit because, most people have a little bit more hesitation saying, hey, I'm going to build this product that doesn't exist. So what was your mentality like? It's like, did you just think, hey, you know what? All I need are some tools and I can already get started and I'm just going to take the next step. What is your mentality? What's your inspiration to just keep driving forward, even though you don't really have experience in manufacturing? How did you think that you could overcome that, or did you just not overthink it?
I thought to myself, I think I took cues from Elon Musk, which his mentality is keep iterating the design until it's perfect.
Right.
So that's what 3D printing allows you to do. It allows you to rapidly prototype and iterate many designs over and over and over again until you perfect the design.
did you have any doubts while you were, in your early phase of prototyping? Were you like, oh wow, this is not going to work?
Yes.
Okay, well, tell me a little bit about some of those hesitations. Like, what came up in your head where you're like, this might stop me from doing it?
Yeah, I think there was a couple times where the design I thought would fail and not work at all. So there was a couple of start and stop points where we got up to a certain point, and then I just sort of gave up.
Okay.
And then thought to myself, this isn't going to work. And
so it wasn't as smooth as you originally
no,
said it, which was like,
that's true.
oh, I just did this, this, and this, and then now I have a product. There were certainly some points where you were like, I'm running into some problems that I need to solve to get to the next step.
Yeah, there were definitely design issues, with getting the product to fit really nicely, really perfectly, have it last a long time, and be able to, withstand all the pressures of the heat, and just fit in the car really nicely and work and blend in with the car. So that was tough. And
so that's a good segue. Let's
Yeah.
talk a little bit about your product. Let's talk about the iPad mount.
yeah,
Tell me some of the features and some of the design considerations that you made and put into the product that we should know about. So I don't have a Tesla, so I'm
Yeah.
not going to be able to use it.
yeah.
So tell me a little bit, if I did have a Tesla, why should I get this mount?
Well, I think a big component was that I wanted it to work with any iPad, no matter what size. So that was an issue. And it also had to be very unobtrusive. So most mounts that you see, whether it's for your phone or your iPad, either have like a magnet, which is usually, that's a really good design, or they clamp on, and the ones that clamp on are like very bulky.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to be not bulky. So that was a design problem. It had to be sturdy, and that was a design problem. There's very few points where it can actually like clamp on into the car, and it had to work with every iPad, and so that was also a design problem. Eventually, we were able to tackle all of those and make it work.
Fantastic. And I've seen it. I've seen it in action, and the one astounding thing about the product that I've noticed is that when you mount your iPad to it, it looks like it's integrated into the car, just like as if there was another screen below the main screen of the Tesla 3. And I think that was some of the aesthetic that you were going for when designing the product and making it unobtrusive. And it almost looks like it's just someone ordered a dual screen Tesla 3, right?
That's true, yeah.
And I'm sure that's something that you wanted too. Like if they had that early on, you probably would have ordered it, but now you made a solution for that.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it was important to have it flow with the car, and work with any iPad, and hopefully soon any tablet. Period.
So let's talk about while you were still prototyping. You did hit some hurdles, and some of them were 3D printing related. Can we talk through some of those problems that you ran into, and how far did 3D printing get you along the prototyping phase until finally mass production?
Okay, so initially we were using PLA, but there was obviously problems with that because of heat, and if it was a very, very hot environment, PLA loses its.
And you were in California at the time.
Yeah, so so I tested it there. But that's when we just switched to ABS, which is great because it's basically the same as the material that you would if you injection molded it. So I think that was definitely a large hurdle. Fit and finish wise, getting something to look like super polished with 3D printing was also a key thing. But I think we were able to get around most of that.
Yeah, and you did a lot of this just with an Ultimaker 2, single extruder.
Yeah.
Not too fancy, but it just got you there, and it just. How long has your printer been working since you started this project?
Yeah, I mean, then just go nonstop for a year and a half, really. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and then you just have family members reload, fill a bit, and keep printing, right?
It's a whole workforce.
And you still only have one machine currently, right?
Yeah, I basically just do all the prototyping on that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And did you take the printer with you all across the country while
Yes.
you were running your road trip?
Yeah, I just took it with me, and it stays with me. It's part of me now.
Okay. Well, I heard that you were trying to get it to run while it was in the Tesla.
That would have been a funny experiment.
Yeah.
Just for, I think, posterity, or just as a fun video, really. But nothing.
Maybe set a world record, the first 3D printer inside a Tesla.
Yeah,
Crossing the country.
it might be fun just to do that. Just I don't think we'd use it to get anything like usable. Maybe prototype stuff, but that would be. I just thought that would be a fun video to make for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
So in terms of the whole manufacturing kind of timeline, from inception of the concept
Yeah.
to mass manufacturing, it's approximately how long did you take?
I would say from inception to mass manufacturing, I could say about 4 months, I think. Yeah, about 4, maybe 5 months.
That's really fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, again, iterating the design was the longest because there were so many design changes that were very minute.
How many versions do you think you made?
Probably about 300.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that speaks to the volumes in which you were reiterating,
Yeah.
testing the product, and then validating, and then doing it all over again until it's perfect. And
Yeah.
now you're happy with the design.
Yeah.
Now it's perfect.
Yep. Yeah. Maybe more. Maybe it could have been 400
Okay.
designs.
Do you think that if we kept going, that there would be a version 2 that's even better than what you got now?
No, I think it's pretty much there.
Okay.
The only thing, is that just making it fit with other tablets, but no, it's pretty much there.
Awesome.
Yep.
And then you launched for your Tesla.com. Tell me a little bit about your website, what it shows on there, and what other things that you have going other than this iPad mount.
Yeah. So, we're launching another iPad mount for the 2021 Model 3 because they decided, because Elon decided to change the center console where it mounts. So we're gonna we have the new design for that, and that's gonna come out soon. And we're designing other products. So we've got a new charger cap, something to protect your charger cable. That's gonna come out very soon.
So Frank, I want to dive into a little bit of the technology in which you use during prototyping, because I think we kind of glazed over and just said, hey, we prototyped.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more to that. And part of it, is about the technology you were using. Part of it was about the materials that you were using. Tell us a little bit about your journey for prototyping and what kind of technology you used and why you chose that.
So we used the Ultimaker 2 Plus. We did our prototyping using ABS, which was great because that's what you would have the product be made out of once you go mass production.
And your goal was always to do a final injection.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So we always wanted to have it injection molded, so it was great because that the 3D print prototypes and stuff are going to match up with the injection molded version pretty closely. So.
And your current part consists of 2 sections, right? One hard object and one softer object to protect your iPad? Yeah,
so I guess the concern was protecting the Tesla, any parts that come into contact with the Tesla, and of course the iPad. So there was, it was one part is ABS and one part was like a softer material like TPU. Or silicone, like in the production version. So it was great because we were able to get all of those things created in pretty much final form using the Ultimaker. So and it was great because the Ultimaker could print all the types of materials that we needed.
And during your prototyping phase, I do recall you contacting us and say, hey, what other materials were available? And you also did test some other technologies that we have. I think we used the Form 3 as well for some of your prototypes. So tell me a little bit about that phase when you tried different materials and different 3D printing technologies.
So we wanted to test out softer materials. and that's when I contacted you. That's when I contacted Shop3D to check out, trying out some elastic resin materials that are softer, which is, again, really incredible that we can prototype and test like different types of materials to see which one works better.
Yeah, I think we were able to just print some samples for you to test. And what was the result of that? Was it too soft, or did you end up going back to TPU?
I think, for sort of production type stuff, like early production stuff, we went to TPU for now, because that sort of worked. It just had the right properties, and then we ended up, for once we went injection on a silicone, which is even more soft, which is great, but it had all the properties we were looking for. So it was great.
And I know that when we did our prototyping, we didn't have the fuse in the background here available for you. And that was something that I think we all thought, oh man, Frank would benefit from this because we could do a short run and we'll have SLS parts. And I did show you a part that you had made with SLS. What did you think about that?
It was amazing. Yeah, the part you showed me was really, really great. It was super rigid, looked like it still had flexibility, rigidness with flexibility, pretty amazing, and lots of impact strength. So the part was amazing.
So I think that if we were able to show you earlier, you probably would have been like, this is almost production level, mass production level, right?
Yeah, it seemed to me it had all the properties you would need for a mass production version.
Yeah.
And you could just go straight to production using that, which is incredible.
Yeah. Well, it's unfortunate that we didn't have it last year when you started prototyping, but at this point you're into that mass production phase anyway, so you're kind of beyond it. But maybe in the next product development that you have, this is something that we could deploy, for your purpose.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really viable option.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit more about this Tesla community, because you keep saying it like it's a thing, but for those of us who are not in that community, what was it like and what was the support and feedback from that community for your product?
Yeah, so the community has been great, and they really help you and send you feedback and help promote. And guys like Mother Frunker, he was awesome. Check out his YouTube channel. He's got really cool videos and reviews on everything Tesla related, and he was awesome, giving me feedback and telling me just his advice on like design changes or just any product, anything product related. He was really cool, and he did the first review video, which was really cool. Tesla Raj was amazing. The guy was super friendly, amazing guy, and he helped promote my product. Robert Rosenfeld did an amazing review video too, and DriveTeslaCanada.ca, they did a really great review. All these guys, like the community is amazing. I can't thank them enough.
That sounds fantastic. It really does seem tight-knit, and I want to be part of that club. How do I get to be part of that club?
Buy a Tesla.
Okay. Buy a Tesla and buy an iPad now. Awesome, man. Well, yeah. Frank, congratulations on starting For Your Tesla. For those who are interested in the product, they can certainly go there to find more about Frank and his product and to order your own. Where can we get your product outside of that?
So we're launching on Amazon, and that's where it will be pretty much exclusively. It'll be on Amazon, but I think there'll still be some orders that go through the website.
Great. Well, this is Frank from ForYourTesla.com. Thanks for joining us today.